Interview Techniques Workshop Part 3. I'm KL Alston, I go by KL. I'm here in this workshop because I want to express to you what I've learned over the years. And what I want to get out of this workshop is each one of you get the position that you want, and the job that you desire, and the salary that you actually are entitled to. All right? Let's start, first of all, with the fact that I am an EEO representative for the San Diego Community College District. So I sit on a lot of hiring committees. And in that capacity, I get to see a lot of good and a lot of bad. So I kept saying, if I just could pull that candidate out for 2 seconds, you know, you can do that little, what is that movie called, Click? Remember Click, the movie? Same thing I'd love to do and go, what are you thinking, lady? Why did you dress like this? But I can't do that because I'm EEO. So I said, why don't I do a workshop? Pull the folks aside who really want a few tips, a few little hints as to what they're doing right or wrong. And that's what happened. That's where the inception came from. Just passing along a few things that I've seen as an EEO. So let's get right into the presentation. Today's objective in the presentation really is to get you the job that you want. Now, this is something I love to put in this presentation because I was actually going through the MBA program and found out there's so many environmental factors that get in the way when you think you qualify. There's so many things that are out there that you don't realize come into play. Political. There's political blockage. There's reasons they don't hire you. They have never, ever been in the practice of hiring your type, your type, your type, your type. It's political. They've been told who they should hire. This is honest. Now, just to back up a bit, I'm not speaking only for the community college. I'm not speaking in terms of the UCs, what I've seen over the years. Historical. They have a history of not hiring you. They just don't hire you. Not that they don't like you, it's like, I'm not going to hire this lady, she's Latino. We need all those people who look like us. Honestly, they won't tell you that, but that's what's in their mind. Stereotyping. All right, I have a stereotype that works. She can do what I assume she can do. This is what's happening in the employers. They're assuming I'm going to stereotype all of you. I'm not going to have you come in for an interview as an 18-wheeler driver. You can't even handle it. What are you? And in an interview, they say, demonstrate this. You're like, no, you are very capable. You're very capable. You have to prove that to them through your application. That's the first part of it, the paperwork screening. Ignorance. Do you think some of them are just plain out ignorant? Did I give you an example of a faculty employee who really didn't have any idea what to do on that committee, so she just hung out? That's a good example of ignorance. She didn't know or he didn't know. They just went with the flow. When you go with the flow, don't we kind of lose? We lose out. And that's exactly what happens in a lot of the interviews. Prejudice. Prejudice ties into ignorance and stereotyping. They figured there's no way that Leticia Bolaño, see I know that one name, I can throw it out there, is capable of being the Dean of Arts and Humanities. Wow, that's unheard of. Because she's classified. That's a straight out prejudice, isn't it? She has a master's degree in, let's say, global management. She's working on her PhD in such and such. They saw it on paper, but they know who she is. They know who you are. A little bit of prejudice pops in. Okay? How do we break that prejudice? Drilling. Presenting exactly what you know they want in that interview. Prior to that paperwork gets so perfect that they cannot reject it. Like, you know what, I really don't want to bring Miss Leticia Bolaño into the interview. Oh my God, look at this paperwork. Joe, look, she walks on water. Michael, look, she has 5 children. Look, it's going to stand out. She's going to get that interview because of that paperwork screening. Economical. Who can talk about economical? Why would they not hire you on an economical basis? Anyone?
If you're a higher wage salary.
Right here, we're right here. That's exactly why. And it hurts you because you're like, I know I qualify. They look at your application and they get intimidated. Oh my goodness, she's already at a university. We can't afford to bring her back. When you get in that interview, that's your chance to shine and to say, you know what you said this morning is a testimonial of why you want to come to the community college. What did you say?
Job satisfaction.
Oh! Say it again.
Job satisfaction.
Say it again, girl. Say it together. Job satisfaction. What does that tell a college, a company? You're with us because of your commitment, because of your belief in what we stand for. they're going to stop looking at you have that 4-year university contract experience. Like, you know what, we could use this. And you would think they'd embrace that, right? Not always the case. Environmental factors affecting securing the job. Job is not secured because of all of these. Now, how do we get rid of all of this? Paperwork. The way that we create our packages. The way that we screen our packages. The way that we write our cover letters. Every bit of that is looked at. The package requires this, 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 and this. You give them this. You're done. You're out. What is the purpose of the interview? The interview basically provides one-on-one dialogue. Are you a good fit? That's a word I'm going to use interchangeably throughout the day. F-I-T. Fit. 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 Are you a good fit for the job? I use this this picture because it's like, what's he doing? What's the purpose of this guy being in a fish tank, feeding these enormous fish, and all these folks are watching? It means nothing unless he had a point to do that. Your point in the interview is to make the most effective moment happen in that interview. It could be what she said. It could be your exit. You're walking away and you said something that they're going to remember forever. Or you stumbled out the door. They remember that. Whatever it took for you to razzle and dazzle them, that's exactly what they're looking for. HR professionals say this: qualifications get you the interview. Your qualification is supposed to get you the interview. Now this is global. This is not SDCCD policy. This is not just a policy we made up. This is the way it's supposed to happen. But initial impressions actually get you the job. How many believe that? The initial impression. Yeah, walking through that door. This is a cartoon that I found. I thought it was just hilarious because I've actually seen people do this. Not actually a dance, but it says basically, instead of the conventional written resume, I'd like to present my ideas and experience, or I should say details and experience, in the form of a brief interpretive dance. We got people just having so much fun in there that they forget the focus of the interview. They're more inclined to entertain us. And honestly, 4 seconds it takes to make one impression. 4 seconds. 4 seconds. Count out loud because they're going to see how long it takes for the first impression. Okay, I just came in the door. I'm one of the interview candidates, and she's going to count down for me. Counting's counting down.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Whoa, I didn't have a chance to sit down. 4 seconds. 4 seconds went by. What does that tell you? Impressions are already being made. You all looked at me. You like, in my head was too shiny, I was too short, and I, for one, I like to have those impressions help me. Yes? Yeah. Oh, big time. Now, how am I going to make sure that that first impression and or those, 11 impressions are going to be the best that they can ever imagine? I'm going to do what?
Smile.
Yeah. And what's that first word I said when we first opened up this presentation? Was it P-R-A? Practice! Yeah! I am going to practice. I'm going to be in front of the mirror the whole time doing like this. Like, okay. I'm going to figure out how to make these eyes stop blinking, you know? Because honestly, I don't know why I do that. Is nervousness or what? Or I'm not going to play with that pencil. I'm not going to, do this for the whole time. And I'm not going to, I'm going to figure out what it takes to nail those 11 first impressions. I'm going to do my darndest to do that. These are what the actual impressions are based on. Personal appearance. We know that. Grooming, eye contact, articulation, personality, and the handshake, which I don't ever recommend. I'll never recommend doing a handshake unless they present it your way. We are living in such a society now that germs are just so prevalent. We just don't want to shake hands. So we got to respect that and understand that's not the way to go. Now in England and the old school, you shake because of the fact that you want to give that firm handshake to confirm I'm the person for the job, but not in the committee setting. Because think about it, isn't that table pretty big? Most of the time, you're going to first of all be finished with the interview and come around to every single person. And with the young ladies, they really don't care about shaking your hand. Men were like, yeah, nigga, how much Chargers? Yeah, all right. It's a macho thing. But women, it's just like, and I've always been taught a woman should offer you her hand first. Is that correct? Am I wrong with etiquette? Yeah. You don't go out, how you doing, girl? Hey, I'm from Brooklyn. What's your girl? That ain't gonna happen. So that's one thing I even say, remember, don't handshake. And it's rare. It's extremely rare. And correct me, anyone in this room, have you ever had a committee member just stand and say, hey, thanks for your time? Oh, go ahead and shake Joe's hand. Oh, Martha, get up here and shake his hand. You don't see that. You just don't see that. So if you know that, then you're not going to be disappointed. You're not going to feel like, I better go shake somebody's hand. The worst thing to do, and I honestly, I'm glad this happened because I didn't think anyone was capable of doing this. We were sitting in a meeting, I should say, actually a hiring committee for a dean position, interim dean, very high-level position. The candidate, who we all knew, but don't forget, whenever you come into an interview, you don't know any of us. First time, hi, how are you? Even though I know you, hi, we went to high school together. I'm not going to do that to you, because I just put you out there, didn't I? I just told everybody she's looking out for me. This candidate came by and said, KL, good to see you, man. Hey, all right. Hey, oh, yeah, Patricia. We joined the as the president. He shook all of our hands. How do you think all of us felt? Like, okay, he's a friend of mine too, and we got to deliberate later. I mean, it was so awkward. Never, ever, ever put your committee members out there like that to say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and vouch for this person. It killed the entire interview. Okay, and then of course, honestly, the rest of the interview just went downhill from there. Because he kind of sensed like he did the wrong thing. He's like, okay, how do I recover? Do your best, but you won't recover from that. It was very, very, very uncomfortable. Preparing for the interview. Identify your strengths. Don't wait till you get to the interview, sitting on the president's couch, and they give you those 10 questions that you are supposed to write these great little responses. And you're like, what are my strengths? Always have your strengths ready to go. Tailor and review your resume. When I say tailor it, tailor to the job description. Tailor to whether the profile is of the job that you're going for. Your resume should be almost a carbon copy of what they're asking for. Now, we're not saying embellish. We're not saying lie. We're not saying change it to the point of saying, hey, this is me. This is exactly what I can do. Look into the future things that you know you can do. I've had this training, so I know that I can handle that CET job, or I know that I can actually be a professor because I've had all these public speaking engagements, etc., etc., etc. So somehow that resume is going to be tailored to that job description and or the actual profile that they're looking for. Application should match the job description. I mean, job requirement, that is, I can never stress that enough. Because we do just like this, folks. I hold up the job description, I hold up the application. We do like this, and they don't blend. What happens when they don't blend? They end up in this stack. And this tall stack is the what? Say it again. Say it again, girl. Rejection, girl. R-E-J-E-C-T. Get respect for that rejection. Done. Because they didn't take time to totally make us bring them in for that interview. Brag sheet goes back to my military days. Brag sheet is your accolades, your awards, your certificates, anything that is beyond your usual and normal academic background. My brag sheet includes Sailor of the Year, Sailor of the Quarter, Employee of the Century, wild things like that. It includes Speaker of the House for the Senate. Whatever I have done, that's going to be my brag sheet, but I really didn't do that. Don't put that down. But that's what the brag sheet's about. All this is coming with you into the interview. How many guys take stuff into the interview? Ooh. How many only go in there with a piece of paper and the question that they ask you to fill out? That's okay, be honest, this is a workshop. How many, go back to the first question, how many actually walk in there with at least your application which you filled out, which HR has, your resume, and the brag sheet that I just explained? 1, 2, 3, 4, yes, yes. Now the rest of the hands at the end of this day are going to go up because that's what you're going to bring. Now you're not going to share that with the committee, you're not going to pass it out and say, look, you know what, I forgot to tell you this. You're going to refer to that. You're going to be so thorough that they're going to be like, this person knows what they're doing. You're going to glance down, the question is, what have you done over your career that has, that has prepared you for this position? Oh, you hear that silence is going on? That's called creative thinking. You're going to look through, and hopefully you've already identified, question 1 on the actual questions refers to your response on your resume. So 1 here, 1 there. I flip over. Oh, well, as you can see that I've done this, 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 I'm just going on. Rattling it off. Question 2 comes up. Oh, let me turn to my brag sheet. What question 2 is presenting is in my brag sheet. I'm not trying to memorize. I'm not trying to forget stuff either because it's very important. At the end of the interview, you can't do that recovery. Here at Sandy Community College, you're not allowed to do a recovery. Be proud of what you have, but know how to tailor it to what the job is asking for. I've seen some resumes talking about, I worked for the Davidic, what is it called? The Davidican National and there I was their interim secretary. Give me more. How does that tie into what we're asking you to do? We're asking you to be a photojournalist. Oh, well, I've taken a picture or 2 when they weren't looking. Okay, hello. Tailor it, tailor it, tailor it. You were the company photographer in an unofficial capacity. You've taken over 400 pictures. You've actually